The video you are about to watch contains an ongoing joke both Adam and Alison thought was funny to keep bringing up. In reality, the joke is funny, but the name that we joked about was inaccurate, making the humor fall flat for those who know. The name has been overdubbed to preserve the integrity and accuracy of these videos. Plus, we wanted to make a serious sounding disclaimer to kind of spice up the video. Thank you, and enjoy. Hello everyone, my name is Adam and I love movies. I grew up in the 80s and 90s and the nostalgia of those times will always stick with me. But sometimes nostalgia can cloud your vision of things. So come with me as I go through the movies I swear all my life I've loved, and let's see if I can still see the magic that I once did. This is Adam's Retro Rewatch. Hey everybody, we are back to do another retro rewatch.
Ooh.
Say hello, Alison.
Oh, how are you? They can't answer me.
They can, but you just can't hear them.
That's fine. I hope they did.
I hope they did too. If you are not answering, make sure you subscribe so you can answer. I don't know. Anyway, it is my turn to do a movie that I watched a lot as a kid and that she's never seen. So take that, she's out of control. We are doing the 1984 rock and roll fable, Streets of Fire. And this movie, when you say cult movie, this is what like the definition of a cult movie. It is a strange film that I watched a lot as a kid, but I never really like sat down and watched it. It was just one of those movies that was just always on and it always had music playing. So I was just like, kind of like, this is cool. And there are like fire. There's a lot of fire, hence the name Streets of Fire. But the streets really weren't on fire except for the one scene with the motorcycles. But I never really sat down and watched it as much as I would as a kid, saying that I love this movie. Like I don't know it word for word or anything.
So you didn't love the movie.
Well, I loved it as a...
I'm just kidding.
I don't know where we're going with that. Anyway, it's a very strange movie. Like I said, it's a definition of a cult film because not a lot of people hear about it. It didn't get a lot of box office praise. It's one of those that when it came out on home video, people really clamored for it because it was a strange movie about music. It revolves around music.
But it doesn't have a cult following, I wouldn't say.
It kind of does.
There's people that watch this regularly.
Oh
And...
yeah.
Oh, well, we gotta find them.
Yeah, especially the people who just follow that love the soundtrack. I mean, it's the soundtrack that brings people in, and then people just love the movie. One of the things that I love about it is it's literally timeless. Like you have no idea what time period you're in. You know, it's like somewhere between the 1980s, 50s. That's what I called it, in the 1980s, 50s.
Strange.
Yeah, it's got a very 50s aesthetic to it. But like some of the outfits are 80s, all of the music is 80s. And you just don't know what it is. Like the main character, Tom Cody. Is that his name?
2 names.
Tom Cody.
Tom Cody.
He wears like 1940s clothes, like the high-waisted pants with the suspenders, and the weird coat.
Yeah, that's part of my notes.
It's just interesting. Like the premise of the movie is Diane Lane is this next hot thing superstar, and she's performing at this 1980s club singing 50s style again.
And she's got 2 names too.
Does she?
Eileen something.
Yes. This is like it's like the DC Comics universe. Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, Hal Jordan.
But those are their last names.
But those are 2 first names.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But these people had like 3 names if you count their like they went by their middle name all the time.
Yeah.
Know, very weird.
Yeah, everyone just called him Cody. Yeah. The main character, Tom Cody, he's played by Michael Paré. He was Eddie in Eddie the Cruisers, and that's basically all he's ever done. that and Streets of Fire. But he's your stereotypical 1950s, 1930s to 50s like film noir, tough guy, like like having to knock out Diane Lane to go on and fight the gang at the end.
Yeah,
that's problematic these days, but
it's in my notes too. But he's not as badass as like, I don't know, he kind of looks kind of badass, but he doesn't look badass like Danny Zuko in Grease looked badass. Like,
right, he doesn't flaunt it.
No.
He's very nonchalant,
yeah,
badass.
like he knows he is, but he doesn't want to like show you that he knows.
Yeah, like the scene where they're trying to rescue Diane Lane's character. He's sitting there picking off motorcycles with his rifle that doesn't have a scope, but he's shooting with like incredible accuracy. Yeah. And then he breaks in and he's just like, he's stone-faced. Yeah. He's stone-faced all the time.
Right.
And that's his whole thing, is that he's this badass that he doesn't show it.
Nope.
And yeah, it's got an incredible cast. Like the supporting cast, Ed Begley Jr. playing the homeless guy, and Willem Dafoe looking really young and really vampiric. He was very pale.
Looks like I finally ran into someone that likes to play as rough as I do.
And Lee Ving is in the movie. He was his right-hand man. And
but I don't know who Lee Ving is.
Lee Ving played Mr. Body in the movie Clue.
Oh.
And he wasn't in it very long, but I recognize his face. And when I was a kid and they showed the names at the end of the movies,
you
Clue.
Were like, hey.
I always thought it was funny because his name was Lee Ving.
Ah.
But that was his name, Lee Ving.
Yeah.
Who was Rick Moranis played a completely different role.
He did. That's
He played a jerk. And everything to him was the shits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if he had a problem, like, this is the shits.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really liked his character in this because it was a departure of his like goofy persona. He was this sleazy music producer that was dating Diane Lane for her talent, basically.
That was a mess.
Yeah.
There's no way she would be with that guy in real life.
Yeah, well, it's the old 1940s, 1950s adage, be with me, kid, and I'll make you famous.
Yeah, but he didn't even exude that for me.
Yeah.
But you still have more people, because I have two more people that you haven't brought up.
Okay.
So we have Dottie from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh yeah, the singer.
And the main girl, the main like hard ass girl, I forget her name.
Yeah. She was Mary something. No, starts with an M.
Yeah,
we're not gonna do her thing. your name thing. Yeah.
Well, she is best known for, she was in Gone Girl, I think, but I recognized her. McCoy.
Yeah,
Amy Madigan.
Amy Madigan, yeah.
She's very Holly Hunter-esque, but she is best known for me as playing Kevin Costner's wife in Field of Dreams.
Oh.
Knock, knock.
I recognized her from something else that my brain can't connect to, but it was later in her life, her career life. It's a heavier character. I can't remember what it was from, but
heavy like weight or just like
yeah, like older, everyone gains weight when they're older, except for Clint Eastwood. It's a movie that's everyone talks about it, that knows cult cinema, but it's never brought up in like mainstream cult talk. Like you see cult movies and you're like, oh, like The Evil Dead or Big Trouble in Little China, Buckaroo Banzai, and then like way at the bottom of the totem pole you got Streets of Fire. But it's there. It's one of them things. In fact, the director of In Search of Darkness tweeted yesterday about a Streets of Fire appreciation post. And I replied, I'm like, we're doing a video on that. That's weird that you just talked about it yesterday. And so yeah, I mean, it's on people's minds, and it's definitely a movie that's really unique. It's not super musically like I thought it was when I was a kid, because I would always turn it on. It was always during a music scene. But it calls itself a rock and roll fable. Not as much music as you want in a rock and roll fable, but the music is really good. In fact, one of the love songs sung by, I can't remember her name. I didn't make very good
Diane
notes.
Lane?
It was not Diane Lane. It was just in the movie. It wasn't sung by anyone in the movie,
Okay.
but it was written by your boy Tom Petty. So I thought you'd like that.
I guess.
I don't know. The songs by The Fix, that I Can Dream About You song is from the movie.
I don't recall who sings that. It's one of those
one person names.
Yeah.
The music is really what stands out, especially the last scene. Diane Lane really killed it with that last scene.
Did she really sing?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No, but
I
her
don't think you
character
did that, Diane.
But it was so 80s. It was so Pat Benatar.
80s. Even her outfit was 80s when she came out. Like the opening scene is her coming out and she's got like this slit up her dress and tights and her hair. And I'm like, oh, that is just, yeah. It's like a mix between Pat Benatar and not really Joan Jett, because she wasn't rocker.
Yeah.
Like a Tiffany.
Yeah.
Just
mixed with that classic 50s lounge.
Yeah, like
thing.
the lyrics were very
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain it.
The bartender, Bill Paxton.
Oh yeah, Bill Paxton with his flat top thing going on.
Yeah, young Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
Rest in peace, Bill Paxton. And one of the cops was Slider from Top Gun.
Oh.
So there you go, Top Gun fans that watch this video.
I don't remember Slider.
Yeah, I caught him at the end of the movie when it was him and the black cop.
Oh yeah.
Getting ready for the big rumble that
right.
almost didn't happen.
Yeah. Motorcycle rumble.
Which was all caused by Cody. Like if he didn't show up, they would have just left.
That guy warned him to leave.
Uh-huh.
The black cop was like, dude, in the rain, right?
Yeah.
In the rain. He's like, just leave, man.
Yeah.
Like,
this isn't happening.
If you fight this guy, Raven.
Willem Dafoe's name was Raven.
How lame is that?
I don't know. I think it's awesome.
No, it's not, because Raven to me is a girl's name, and like I just
so Raven.
And I don't know. It's like, your name is Raven. Like your name could have been Blade or Blaze for Streets of Fire.
It's true.
I don't know.
Or
even
Knife.
Not nice, but Knife. But yeah, he's like, if you come out and you fight Raven, I'm gonna throw your ass in jail. I'm gonna throw both your asses in jail. And it's like, he just wants peace in the Streets of Fire.
Yeah.
But you had to just show up wearing your ugly PJ looking outfit.
and no shirt, just the jacket. Yeah.
No, Cody had a shirt on.
Oh, him. I was talking about Raven.
Oh, I mean, Raven felt he didn't have to ever wear a shirt.
That's right. And he could always get guns.
Yeah.
That was his thing.
Yeah.
That was his big claim to his
kind of
fame and being leader of the Bombers, which is great nowadays. Calling a biker gang the Bombers.
Yeah, it's just I don't know why they came up with that, but
so it's definitely a movie that everyone should see at least, because it's just got this weird setting of being in the 1950s, 80s. And the city alone, the city sets looked like Tim Burton just like took them and put them in his 1989 Batman movie.
Yeah, it's very dark.
It's very Gotham because it's all under like the elevated trains. There's not a lot of sets, and it's all sets. There's like, I think maybe one location shot when they did the rescue.
Yeah, and you can tell it's all sets. Like it literally looks like you were in backstage of,
Yeah, it's a definite
Universal.
backlot.
Yeah.
The bus scene was a really good scene where they picked up the black musicians.
Shangri-Las
Yeah.
or something. Who ended up singing I Can Dream About You, and they turned I Can Dream About You, a popular 80s song, into like a Temptations type style thing.
Right, but they were all wearing like their 80s suits with their striped ties, and it was the 1950s, 80s. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But we've had a discussion about what it's about and what things are in the movie. The question is, do I still love the movie? I do not.
Look at that.
I do not love Streets of Fire. I like Streets of Fire, but it's not a movie that I'm gonna go like buy the 4K Blu-ray for, or it's not the movie like I watched. It's now on Netflix, and I got so excited when it was on Netflix, and I watched it. And I'm like, this is the movie I loved as a kid, and I can understand that I loved it as a kid. It had a lot of stuff going on. A lot of times there was music. Like I said, when I turned it on, there was music. But the filler is very filler. It's very like the downtime is it's either Cody being stoic Cody and talking about his codes and stuff, or it's Rick Moranis saying everything's the shits. And that's it. The McCoy was a cool character, and I guess they were vaguely hinting that she was a gay character, because the whole time she's like, "You're not my type. You're not my type."
I didn't pick up on that.
And he wasn't even like trying to hit on her.
Yeah, well, not when you have Diane Lane up in the running.
That's true. And I don't know. I just maybe that was right. Maybe she just wants someone softer than her, because she was a hard ass.
She was. I thought
she was a soldier.
I thought her interaction with Bill Paxton's bartender character was kind of cute, because like they were both like jerks to each other. And she's basically like, "Can I get a drink?" And he's like, "Well, not with that face." Like they were just like, I don't know. I was like, that's part of my notes, is the way they talked to women in this movie.
Okay, well, let's get into that. I've talked about what it meant, what the movie meant to me. This is your first time watching it, so let's hear what you have to say.
It was the first time watching it, and it'll probably be my last. Like you said, I didn't hate it. I'm glad I watched it, but I don't like this movie. I was the whole 50s 80s thing confused the crap out of me. I love the 50s, I love the 80s. Don't necessarily know if it goes together very well, but in this movie it worked, and I think that's cool that they took a chance on that, because I don't know any other movie that mixes them both together, but I'm sure there are movies. But you know me, I love
Little Shop of Horrors kind of did that.
Yeah. But like on the street, you're like, okay, I hear this 80s music, I see this 80s vibe, I see Diane Lane, and then I see these 1950s police cars, and like, people going to get their like 5-cent shake, and like, motorcycle gangs. And I'm like, what is happening? Why is there segregation? They're calling the black people in the movie. I'm not going to say the word. It's not the N word, but they're using bad language.
They're using slurs.
And I'm like, what? So I don't know. And again, I compared the Raven and
Bombers
to my T-Birds from my beloved Grease. But they were just, I don't know, it was just all over the place. So I have like a couple of notes. Oh, well, we talked about, I feel like everybody just acts over the top.
Yeah, except Cody.
Except Tom Cody. I like calling him. Everybody is just like, they act and they talk way over top. Like
especially Rick Moranis.
Oh, totally. So Rick Moranis was like, first of all, he always had a suit on because he was the manager, but he was kind of a jerk, and I'm not used to seeing him as a jerk. He's always the lovable character that you feel sorry for, whatever, like Lewis. But he was just like, "Oh yeah, go ahead, Diane Lane, go be with Tom Cody. Like, you'll come back to me." And he's just like dishing out Tom Cody some money to go tell, get her back from Raven. Like, here, and there's more where that came from. Like, I don't know. His attitude, like, why did Diane Lane find that attractive? Was it I feel she was with him just to increase her career, like,
or she felt trapped, like, you're not going to get this without me being with you.
I could see him being very mentally and possibly even like physically abusive. Not like, I'm going to punch her like Tom Cody did in the subway, but like, just like, get over here. Like, speaking of Tom Cody, I just like calling him Tom Cody. So it's him and Diane Lane's character and McCoy, and they're in a subway, and he's on his way, or they're in a train, right? And they're on their way he's on his way to go either fight somebody again or right?
Well, they were on their way to just escape.
Right.
And she had no idea that he was going to go fight bombers.
Right. So
bombers.
So it stops and she's like, basically like, this is not my exit. Like, what are you doing, Cody? And he just takes his fist and pops her in the face and knocks her out. I literally was like, what? That's not did he just punch a girl? Did he just punch his beloved girlfriend? Well, his ex-girlfriend.
That's another thing we never brought up, that he was brought in by his sister to save her.
Right.
Because there's a bounty to save her.
Yeah, there's a bounty. And how easy was it that she got kidnapped by
bombers?
Like they just walked on stage in the middle of her singing, literally lifted her up, and just like and Rick Moranis is on the sidelines because he's a manager, and he's like, wait, you can't come up on the stage, like get off. And then there's just this riot that just ensues. But then also, how easy was it for them to get her back?
I know. He just walks in. McCoy takes all of the diversion,
right?
And she's just like shit talking them the whole time, and that's the diversion because she has a gun.
Like I wouldn't be that threatened by Raven or his
bombers.
Yeah, but he can always get guns.
Well, he didn't use them enough, clearly. So talking about Raven, Willem Dafoe. No offense, Willem Dafoe, if you ever watch this, you are one of the most unattractive men that I have ever seen. I think you're a fine actor, but you've never been one. Every time you've been in a movie, it's like, oh, Willem Dafoe. Like he looks like a slimy snake to me. Like
he looks like the Joker.
But in this movie, because he's so young, he was the epitome of a pale, pasty vampire.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I expected pointy teeth to come out of him, and
he had the widow's peak, and it was just full vampire.
Nothing's wrong with widow's peak.
Well, that's a vampire thing.
Well, maybe I'm a vampire. I am very pale, but he was just, I mean, his eyebrows and his widow's peak and his paleness and his sunken, like, I didn't even want to look at him. I wanted to look at the other
bombers,
but he was, he's just creepy. And he just, again, he overacted. Like,
well, that's the Willem Dafoe way, is overacting.
The Willem Dafoe way.
That's acting the Dafoe school. Going back to the punch.
Yes.
At the end of the movie, when she gets off stage from singing, when they're singing "I Can Dream About You," and they say their last goodbyes, she actually goes, "And you have a mean right hook."
Yeah.
Like it was nothing.
It was okay. Yeah. So like she runs away from Rick Moranis. Like she runs after Cody because Cody's like, here's the money, or I'll take the money. You know, you guys, you don't, Diane Lane doesn't need me. She needs you. I can't give her anything. I don't want to go around the globe with her. Yeah. Like I'm and Moranis is like Dottie, a rebel. That's what he should have said. So she runs off into him, and it's pouring down rain. They kiss, blah, blah, blah. They have a night together. The next day they're just like, yeah, I'm still not going to be with you. Like, I'm not a roadie. I don't want to, I support you and I'll always be here for you, but we have separate lives. And then she's like, okay, cool. Hey, you got a mean right hook. Like, we're just going to gloss over the fact that you punched my face and lied to me. I don't know. I love Diane Lane. Diane Lane is one of the best actresses, I think, of our time. I think she is great. She's gorgeous. But Diane Lane, you were not doing it for me in this. She could have been played. That role could have been played by anybody. Yeah.
And I think if any movie could do well with a remake, it could be this one. It's got its quirks. And I think if it was handled now, it could probably be a decent movie.
And maybe if they didn't do 50s 80s, maybe they could do something else.
They could do like 40s 2020s.
No, that's a big difference. I was gonna say 70s 90s, maybe. I don't know, but they could do a remake. One of those like up and coming pop stars like Ariana Grande.
Oh yeah, it could be a Disney Channel exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're just ruining in Streets of Fire.
No, I think we have something going.
Oh. Your final thoughts on the movie. You said you're not going to watch it again.
I'm not, nor am I going to recommend it to anybody.
I really thought before rewatching it that you would really be into the whole 50s nostalgia or aesthetic of it, with like the biker gangs and the live singing and the 80s music. I can see now why you like that and not like the movie.
Yeah. Well, you and I can see, and I appreciate the fact that you think that I would like that, because you know that I like Grease and I like the movies like that. But the difference in those type of movies and Streets of Fire is one, color.
Yeah.
Um,
Not much unless they're singing.
no, and for a good 50s movie, I need to have not just the guy gang, but I need my girl gang, and I need them to all dance. I need my poodle skirts, I need my pencil skirts, and there wasn't any of that. There was too much of the 80s.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think I missed, maybe if they had sprinkled in a couple of more 50s jive like songs. But it was definitely the color scheme and the cinematography of this movie that just kind of like it wasn't even rainy in a lot of the scenes, but I felt like the whole movie was a rainy day.
It was just a wet, the only time you hear the 50s songs was in the bike, like the good guys like 80s songs, or the bad guys like the fun 50s stuff,
right?
And it wasn't even rowdy music.
No,
it was weird.
It was very weird.
Yeah. So there it is. There's our assessment of Streets of Fire. I got real excited when it showed up on Netflix, and I'm no longer excited.
But you should watch it.
It's definitely worth a one-time watch.
Yeah.
To see what we're talking about.
It's not a long movie either.
Especially if you like Rick Moranis. He really has a big part in this movie, and it's not the same Rick Moranis that you know. Everything's the shits. And that car they end up with at the end, Rick Moranis's car, that was a weird looking car.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly 50s. It was like a mishmash of hot rod and luxury car.
There wasn't enough hot rods for me either.
You just want a 50s movie straight out. You just want Grease again.
But not Grease 2.
No. You want Grease again. That's what the remake will be called.
Greasier. Too much grease.
Grease 3, Greasier.
Aww.
So that was Streets of Fire.
Thanks for making me watch it. Not making me, but I mean, thanks for choosing it. I mean, there's way worse movies that I've seen.
And there's way worse movies coming.
Great.
Tell us if you like Streets of Fire. I really want to know how big the cult following is. Because when I mention it, I got so many comments of saying like, I'm so excited you're doing Streets of Fire.
Did you really?
I did.
Well, let's reach back out to those people and say, watch this video when it's up and you tell me what you think, because I don't know. I hear cult movie and cult following. I immediately think of, the movies you mentioned, or like Rocky Horror. Like, I don't think of Streets of Fire, but that would be a quintessential good cult movie, because once a cult movie like becomes too culty, like Rocky Horror, you're like, this is not cool anymore.
Yeah.
And now everybody likes it.
Yeah, and it's usually those musical movies, like Rocky Horror, like Phantom of the Paradise, like
the opera one movie, the rock opera that you
Repo,
the
Genetic Opera. Fantastic film. I mean, that I don't know why cult movies have to have like the musical aspect to it, but they do, except for Evil Dead and all the John Carpenter movies.
That would be funny if they had music in Evil Dead.
Well, Evil Dead the musical is hilarious.
Well, no, but I'm talking about in the actual movie. That might not go well.
No, not even in the sequel. Oh man. So if you like what we do, or if you don't, and you just want to hate watch us, go ahead and hit the subscribe button.
Yeah. I haven't gotten one comment on any of these. I want to know if people hate me.
Yeah. Bring us your hate. When we get hate comments, that means we've made it.
Yeah, hate me.
We haven't made it. Hate me tomorrow.
Hate me.
Hit the subscribe button. The Facebook algorithm only goes by the subscribe button, so once we see that you like what we're doing, we'll continue to do more and it'll become more popular and maybe have better equipment than just my arcade videos and stuff. So I don't know where I'm going with this.
That was not necessary, because everything was fine. Just subscribe and like us. We're gonna do it anyways, whether you subscribe or not.
That's true.
So,
but so that was Streets of Fire.
Yeah.
And what are we gonna do next?
Psst, what are we gonna do next?
They can't hear you.